Studies have shown that urban squirrels are highly adaptable, often modifying their behavior to cope with environmental pressures such as predation risks, resource competition, and human disturbances. My name is Justin Kara from Group B5, and today I'll be discussing how proximity to a dog park affects the daily activity patterns of squirrels in Elder Grove Regional Park. This image here depicts the layout of our study area, with the locations of camera traps marked and labeled as A1, A2, and 3, and so on to differentiate site IDs. The red lines indicate sites where no squirrel activity was detected, while the green lines show locations where squirrel activity was observed. Our objective was to investigate whether squirrel activity levels vary based on the distance from the dog park. We hypothesized that areas closer to the dog park would exhibit lower squirrel activity due to the presence of dogs and associated disturbances such as noise, scents, and increased human activity. To test this hypothesis, we placed camera traps at 17 different locations within Elder Grove Regional Park, categorized as near, intermediate, and far. These non-invasive cameras recorded squirrel activity over a 2-week period, allowing us to collect data without invading the natural habitat of the animals. We analyzed the data using statistical methods, including regression analysis, chi-square tests, and an ANOVA to better understand the relationship between the two variables. The regression analysis revealed no correlation between the distance from the dog park and squirrel detection rates. The R-squared value of 0.0666 suggests that other factors, such as food availability or predation pressure, play a larger role in squirrel adjusting their behavior. Figure 3 provides a visual representation of dial activity patterns of squirrels relative to their distance from the dog park. Key takeaways from the graph are that squirrel activity is generally highest in areas 450 to 935 meters from the dog park, whereas near proximity to the dog park appears to suppress squirrel activity across all times of the day. The far distance shows slightly less activity than the intermediate zones, but still significantly more than the near. Figure 4 is a histogram that represents an ANOVA single factor test, representing the distribution of squirrel activity across 3 different site distances, near, intermediate, and far from the dog park. The near sites have a very low bar, which suggests squirrel detection rates were low near the dog park. The intermediate sites have a higher bar than the one at near sites, which indicate there was an increase in squirrel detection rates in intermediate distances. Finally, the bar representing far sites is fairly similar in height to that of the intermediate sites. Statistical analyses collectively reject the hypothesis that dog park proximity has a sizable influence on squirrel behavior patterns. In conclusion, our study does not support our hypothesis, but we would like to highlight the importance of reducing human-led disturbances in parks to support mammals and preserve their habitats. Thank you for your time, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.